Nippon Banzai! Nippon Banzai! Nippon Banzai!
Nippon Banzai!
Yeah, that failed. Alright, welcome back everyone to the Anime Club. I'm Nick Knack. With me is Realm Shifter.
Nippon Banzai, everybody!
The Great Lord Vorn.
Hey, everybody.
We kind of have a guest here, but he's going to be tuned out for most of this, so ignore him. But Danny's in the background here still.
Hey.
He doesn't get to go home until Nick Knack does.
And finally, Seki.
My mood gets lower and lower with every time you introduce me.
Alright, well this week we watched Code Geass, episodes 1 through 12, so spoiler alert for those. And this was a submission by Lord Vorn, so we'll go ahead and have him lead the discussion here. But first off, everybody's favorite segment, and I think hopefully the last time we have to say this for the day, Waifu Wars! Waifu Wars! Waifu Wars! Seki looking over here like, I don't know who my waifu is. Who is your waifu, Seki?
Unironically, I'm gonna, and I don't mean this as a joke, I do mean this genuinely, is the opening theme song, because I actually love the opening song, but I don't like any of the characters particularly.
Chibuo!
Actually,
Sakai!
Alright, Vorn, your turn.
I don't mind that because I do agree with you. That opening is really good, but I do have waifus. But, it's so hard to choose.
Well, you gotta make a decision.
Ooh.
Yeah, we don't get to let you get away with all of the Fate girls again. You have to pick one.
No, it's not all.
person.
It's like between 3.
Well, you have to pick one.
Ugh. I guess I have to go with Shirley.
Alright.
Yeah.
Realm.
Well, for future Waifu Wars videos, to make this easier on myself, I'm going to be the contrarian and go with CC.
C2.
Or C2. It said
C2.
CC in the frickin' subtitles.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
My waifu, and this is probably the first time I'm ever giving an unironic waifu, it's Colin.
I'm somehow insulted for Suwon's honor.
Stop! We ain't doing waifu wars anymore.
No, this isn't a waifu wars. This is legitimately something that I feel like I should be insulted on behalf of his honor for.
Alright, guys, let's move on to the episodes. Lord Vorn, why don't you lead us through this?
Episode 1. The day a new demon was born. The episode where we find out that our main protagonist is an exiled prince from the war-raged country of Britania.
It's basically like a lore dump. Like a history lesson in
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Where we figure out that this fictional empire, known as the Britannian Empire, invaded the land of Nippon and took them over and took them under their rule.
Nippon is just Japan, guys.
Actually, hold
Yeah,
on. It's not in
Britania is
20.
just Britain.
Yes.
Well, actually, Britannia is more America.
Yeah,
but
Which is funny, but,
you
you know.
Right off the bat,
Ow.
the political allegory here is strong.
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 Yeah. But we're not going to touch upon that too much, because, oof. So let's focus on let's focus on the characters.
the sun never sets of the British Empire.
Let's just not talk about real world politics.
Yeah.
We talk about anime politics. How about that, segment?
That does sound like a great idea.
Yeah, sounds like a great idea, Vorn. Lead us through this.
Well, I'm going to leave the politics to you, Nick Knack, since you're the best at it. But I'm going to at least talk about some other stuff right now.
You're being called out, feel insulted, feel attacked, and then go in a corner and feel attacked alone.
Well, you are our specialist, of course, segment in books, and Nick Knack's our specialist in politics.
I like
We
how
all
you
are
get something
specialists.
specific like politics, and I just get books.
Well, books, literature,
History.
quite literally almost thing to do with
Because
social studies.
Your like generalization can cover such a broad spectrum. So books is the best we can give you. And
That's fair.
Yeah,
I will accept that graciously.
we're being nice.
I don't know.
kind
I
of.
found Lelouch to be... Lelouch is a character that grew on me as time goes on. In the early episodes, though, I was really worried that he was going to be too perfect. That was gone by the end of even this first 12 episodes, but oh boy, like early on he has that
Anime plot armor
ye-
perfection.
yeah.
He just had too much plot armor for you, basically, in this series at the
Early
beginning.
on, I think
Yeah, the start.
as a disclaimer, I finished the series. Like, I actually really liked the series, so I finished it before in the 2 weeks before the recording.
As a disclaimer, I'm not going to mention past episode 12 because that's all we're reviewing. But my Hulu on the TV in my room is kind of like glitched out, and I think I actually watched to episode 15 before it told me where I was. So I went a little bit over too.
Yeah, I've seen everything and the movies. So.
I'm the only one here who only watched the full 12, so anything beyond that is spoilers for me as well.
Yeah.
But I actually did like from the beginning, like I still liked Lelouch's character, or Lelouch, however you pronounce it. I liked his character from the beginning. He at first, like, he has like the protagonist can look to him,
Yeah.
but none of the protagonist can traits to him, really.
It definitely does. Like, very quickly in the series, he does cast like that idea that he could just be protagonist Kun.
But aside from maybe like a lot of the girls like interacting with him as being sort of one, but really the only one who's shown to have like an actual like any actual feelings for him, at least in these 12 episodes, is Shirley. And we don't really get any of that until literally the last episode. But that's kind of irrelevant right now. So
Yeah.
We're introduced to a couple more characters. Like, I think we see our first look at the unnamed nightmare pilot, who later we find out the identity of is Colin.
yes,
Yeah. Wait, no,
not gonna lie.
They didn't name her in this episode.
no, they. Wait, didn't they?
That was her brother driving the truck, I believe.
Yeah.
No, I thought like he called out her name when she was getting the nightmare.
They might have.
Yeah.
Vorn knows this is his favorite series according to our introduction. So our introductory video, which just went up. You guys should check that out. But so he knows the series far better than I do.
Yeah. Wait, we just put it up?
Yeah, it just went up.
Hey,
Wow.
hey. If you've got a problem with how long it took me to figure out how to edit stuff, you can edit it yourself.
No, I'm just saying, like, wow, we did it like about a month ago.
Our upload schedule is like far behind what when we're actually recording.
Yeah.
So
Which is
don't be
fine. It works
surprised.
for me. So.
It's perfectly okay though. So don't think too hard about it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyways, I think we should move on to the next episode at this point. We get some other like pretty major developments, like for example,
Well, you see, like,
see C2. We
Yeah,
see
C2,
The
we see
old
the-
friend.
the old friend.
I can't say that name. Freaking heck! It's that.
Which one?
It's the color text.
Suzaku.
Yes, Suzaku.
Yeah, Suzaku.
Suzaku. Okay. Spoiler: he comes back, but in this episode, they really play like they shoot him like, oh, they killed him. He was a pointless character. Hey, they bring him back like really quickly.
He was saved
Yeah.
by a pocket watch.
Yeah, but earlier you're like, wait, they introduced that character just to kill him off.
Honestly, though, Suzaku low-key reminded me in some ways of Shiro from Fate Stay Night. In some ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But anyways.
Nick Nack will definitely know that for sure, and so do I.
Yeah,
You definitely feel it, though.
I definitely feel it.
Yeah.
Seki, do you have something to say?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the problem. Is that my kind of whole opinion on this series is kind of like a big I don't know. It's like it always feels like either I'm missing something or I didn't catch something or there's something that just wasn't there to be revealed later. And I mean I don't know if it feels like that for everyone. It just kind of felt like that for me because it felt like there were just moments in the series where I was like so confused at like certain points or lines. And then I'd have to like go and be like, watch back through the last like 5-6 minutes. And I'm like, okay, no, I didn't miss anything. I just don't get it.
Sounds like someone was also trying to multitask during the series.
I wasn't. I don't always multitask. It's just, I mean, okay, so it wasn't obviously it wasn't what I would consider my normal type of anime, right? And I got lost through a lot of the politics. I was just kind of like, what? Why is this? What's the...
Yeah, you like a lot of simple stuff that
Yeah.
throws it in your face.
Yeah.
I mean, this was pretty simple in my opinion, but it's just a lot more
Simple like a punch to a face, or simple like a simple like book? is the
simple like a
difference.
simple book. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like a punch to the face. You know? It just...
Yeah.
But I said
You like-
I didn't actually dislike it. Like I
Then
did
this
like
is
the
why
series.
this is what you preferred about Overlord to this, is that it was that Overlord had a simple punch to the face to start with, and then a simple book off to the side for you to look at later if you
Kind
wanted
of.
to.
I
Yeah.
did actually like parts of the series. Like I liked some parts of like the first couple episodes. I think it was it was the episode where, God, I can't remember which episode it was, but they had the hostages and the princess was one of them and they didn't know.
That was a great
I
episode.
liked that
yeah.
episode a lot. Like I watched that episode twice. I liked it so much.
Yeah, the reveal of the Black Knights.
Yeah.
Being fair to Seki, I do think that
That's episode 8.
this
Yeah, that is
this first
episode
stretch of episodes actually does. This first stretch of episodes really does have its faults compared to the second stretch of episodes we'll eventually do, having seen it. So I do feel like that kind of episode is where the series really does shine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
When they're in those tenser situations,
And I mean,
which I don't feel like the first part of the series fully goes
And-
into as much.
and I get longer series where it takes a little bit to build up. I made you all watch Katekyo Hitman Reborn episodes 1 through 12. I get it.
Filler.
I'm not actually judging the series overall based on this, which is why for a waifu I said the opening theme, because I feel like if I saw more, I'd have a better judgment of who I liked and who I didn't. But for what I'd seen, the only thing that would be fair for me to say was that I loved the opening.
All right.
Yeah. Actually, that's another point I want to drag up. This is an original series which doesn't actually have anything that's connected to it when it was made. So it's pretty much, based on how our rules work, it doesn't exactly work that nicely. And also kind of reason why I had trouble trying to find an endpoint.
Also,
I don't know. The endpoint seemed like a very good cliffhanger endpoint to me, but that we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah, but I didn't want cliffhanger.
well, anyways, I was also going to make another comment. This, actually, the people, or the studio behind this, or rather, I guess the group behind this, Clamp, was also made another one of my more favorite series, Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles, even though that series never had an official end, so,
Yeah.
Oof.
yeah.
Oh yeah, the artwork is better than Fate, and this was made in the same year.
Yes,
Yes.
you're not wrong there.
You know what's better than both of them? Full Metal Alchemist, the original, made 3 years prior.
Yes.
Eh.
But
I
honestly,
disagree there as well.
I mean, I loved the mecha fights in this.
Yeah.
Like that was
Oh, yeah.
that was
Yeah,
super
the
great.
mechs were pretty cool.
Oh,
Well, we're kind of dragging this out. So
yeah. So
I-
let's move on to episode 2.
Yeah.
Let's see. Episode 2, The White Knight Awakens. We find out Suzaku's ain't dead.
Yeah, I didn't. When that happened, I was like, "Wait, he got shot."
he got shot.
That,
No,
that
he
feels
was
a
saved
bit
by a
BS to me. I'm not gonna lie.
He
Like,
saved by
ultimately,
a
it's
pocket
required
watch.
for the series. In the end, but my God, was that a kind of BS at the time?
It's not actually that BS in
It's
real
not
life.
even-
A
it's
watch
not-
can stop a bullet.
Yeah, but it was very contrived, if I had to say that.
Yeah.
Like it felt unnecessary in a lot of ways, honestly, because it's like you could have just like, instead of having him get shot, like, I don't know, maybe getting the crap beaten out of him by like the guards or something like that came along instead of them being killed,
Here's the thing.
because that would have had like a similar impact, but without like all the drama then being removed in the next episode.
I will say, it doesn't color my opinion of the entire episode. I think this episode was spectacular, and like you
It
got
was-
to see all like basically Lelouch playing chess with all of the terrorists.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was so much fun.
Well, here's the thing. Also, the reason why I think Suzaku actually had to get chopped is because they want to reveal the watch, which is connected to showing his backstory for this part of the episode. So yeah.
It just felt like it was a bit of a
Unnecessary.
stretch to get to backstory.
I kind of wish they had
Yeah.
given us a hint in the first
Yeah.
episode that he survived that, instead of him just waking up in a med bay in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little bit.
It was a little weird
Yeah.
getting to this point, but we're here, so it's all good now, I guess.
We get to see Lucia's first use of his power.
Yes. His first use of the power is to save himself from a bunch of guards that
Royal guards.
Yeah, royal guards.
If you're willing to kill, you must be willing to die yourself.
Yeah.
That's such a cool line.
Yeah.
I know.
I mean, it's true. That's a line you see. It happens a lot in like other shows where it's this moment of like you have to realize that like, are you willing to? Like it's not just that you want to kill other people. Are you willing to be killed by others?
Right.
I'd like to say that actually is a very defining line of the series.
It is.
Yeah.
I like that it's a defining line of the series though, because you get so many. Because this is technically a shonen, and there's so many shonen where it's like you die unless you're like one of the main cast of characters. Literally, Pain in Konoha, in Shippuden, like nobody major died. You know, so it's nice that there's like this kind of realization here.
I also like how, even though Saku is the head, well, not head, is the son of the dead former Prime Minister of Japan, is actually on Britannia's side, and also that Lelouch is the exiled Prince of Britannia, is actually now fighting against Britannia. This is like a perfect,
they're foils for each other. That's all. I'm 99% sure that was on purpose.
Yeah.
It was very much.
And we definitely see that even in like the later episodes and much more in the series, but I'm not allowed to talk about that much. So yeah.
I mean, but there's plenty to talk about without talking about later in the series, given
Yeah.
that they do like to dump a lot of information and concepting.
Yeah.
So, and then at this point, so after like Lelouch escapes from that place after playing chess with the terrorists and whatnot.
He kills Clovis.
Clovis.
Yeah,
that's
kills Clovis.
episode 3 right there.
Yeah. So this sort of like transitions into episode 3, where he then kills the current prince of what was Japan is now called Area 11.
Yeah.
So.
Which is his brother from another mother.
Yes, brother from another mother.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
Very literally.
Such a weird thing.
He was terrified of it when Clovis was terrified of it when he found out. But sort of relieved, but also still terrified, and then he ended up dying.
Well, your brother's pointing a gun at you. I'm pretty sure anybody would be terrified.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
Yeah. So yeah. And the best part about it is that it's only very subtly implied that he actually pulled the trigger until we hear about the death.
Episode 3 is also where we actually find out about the limitation on Lelouch's power. And up to episode 3, that was like where my big worry for the series was that Lelouch's power would be just way like how many times in Death Note do they have to like get light away from the Death Note because otherwise the story would have no tension?
Yeah.
They actually gave Lelouch a really good like restriction to the power. He can only use it once per person.
Once per person. So far, at least from from what we watched, it doesn't seem to have a limit for how long it lasts. Thanks to that one girl, he has constantly making marks down on the wall. It just it's a very versatile and well balanced power, essentially within its own context.
Which is also pretty rare for shonen anime, I will say that.
Yeah. We also meet, well, we already seen Colin, but we now get to know Colin better and a little bit of her backstory as well. We find out that she is a half-blood, half Japanese, half Britannian. Which is actually kind of a little bit shocking because she's fighting against Britannia, even though her father is a noble. And we do know that.
Yeah, I like that like dynamic though, where like Colin throughout the series I think has like at least at this point in the series has like probably one of the more fleshed out motivations. Later in the series you do get other characters' motivations and they're all really good, but Colin probably gets the earliest like fully fleshed out motivation established, I think.
Yeah.
Especially within the first 12 episodes.
Yeah.
And we also see some of the dynamics of politics right here, since Suzaku gets framed for Cloves' murder, which we finally found out.
Oh Zero though, like rolling up to the.
That's episode 4 right there. Yeah, we're just
Yeah.
skipping in between because
Sorry, I'm
this
making
Because
that
these
mistake.
episodes really do blend together quite.
Yeah.
Because they like cliffhanger out of one and into the other.
That's because this isn't original, and like they
Yeah.
can do it because they don't have false stuff at all,
Yeah.
And it works.
and it's great.
It works. It's great. But yeah, there's no indication as to where Lelouch got the getup for Zero.
Actually, we do. It's from the, in the first episode where he walks in on the noble and the other person playing.
Oh,
Yeah,
that.
it's that guy.
Ah,
Yeah, no, that's where we know.
interesting.
Yeah.
All right then. I totally missed that detail.
Yeah, it's a little quick snippet, but it's there.
Is that what he takes for beating the noble or whatever after the chess game?
No, I think he uses Geass on the guy to actually get it.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
All right then.
Yeah.
Well-
We actually. Oh, you got something else?
No, I was just gonna say, but this is the point where Lelouch starts calling himself Zero
Yeah.
and supporting the terrorist group, and this kicks off the whole turn of events that will be Lelouch's quest to bring down the Britannian Empire.
Yeah. We also get to learn more about Lord Jeremiah, which we saw in episode 2 and 3. The only thing we actually saw in 2 and 3 is his ass getting whooped. Actually, can I say
But
that?
it was amusing.
Oh yeah, it was definitely amusing. And
Can I say that?
He said,
He said,
Yeah, is
"Hey."
that okay?
yeah, can I?
let's just run with it.
Let's just
Okay.
run with it at this point.
Yeah, it's fine.
Well, Nick Nack, you're definitely politics expert. Why don't you go and explain about Jeremiah and his stuff in episode 4?
Wait, Jeremiah, was he orange?
Yes, Orange Boy.
Orange.
Yeah.
Orange Kun.
I loved seeing like that political fall of everything with Jeremiah. Like, what was it during that ceremony, right? When Lelouch comes in, is like, or I shall reveal to everybody about Orange, and like he's like, what the heck is Orange? And then he commands him to release Suzaku's, and he goes, oh my god! And then everyone thinks Jeremiah like has some secret conspiracy he's hiding about something called Orange. Well, that's just something Lelouch came up with there.
just to create tension between him
Yeah.
and the rest of the.
Although that might actually be a reference to Orange Gas, which actually is a real thing here.
Yeah, no, I think that was the reference there.
That
But
was the reference, like at best. So just I don't know. It was just basically it was Lelouch's clever way of getting there to be tension between Jeremiah and the rest of his commanding unit.
Yeah, well, his own faction actually is
Oh yeah,
Pure Blood.
because he was pure blood, and he was actually technically the successor at this point since Clovis's death.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's actually the one who also forced out the close aides of Clovis, because technically they didn't stay with him, even though it's implied that they were Geassed out.
Right.
So yeah. We also see Colin and, we already seen Ogi, but we get a little... Do we? No, not really. Actually, no, we do. You get to know a little bit more about Ogi in, like, the Resistance.
Mm-hmm.
You get to see both of them help Lelouch accomplish this insanity quite literally.
Yes.
Anyway, I think... Actually, no. Let's talk about Lisa Suzaku refusing Lelouch's offer. And we also get to see the court system there, if you want to talk about that.
It's kind of brief, at least for Suzaku's thing. Like, it's just like, he's no longer found guilty because Zero came forward and essentially claimed the murder for Prince Clovis.
Well, I'm talking about, like, the scene between Lloyd, the scientist, and Suzaku about, like, their argument about what's going to happen in the court. But, yeah.
I mean, that's more just a discussion between them two, because even they admit that it's basically just like a sentencing hearing for him.
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
that point anyway, since they didn't have the information at the point that Zero, or in this case Lelouch, was the actual murderer.
So I think one thing I do want to call out here, because I love the series, but I think there are multiple times where, like, where did Lelouch get that? Like, I realized there was that one noble he beat in a chess game and he Geassed.
Yeah.
But, like, how did he, within, like, a matter of a day or so, make a complete replica of Clovis's car?
He handed
that was
off to
actually
Colin.
explained by basically the group of terrorists that he helped gather for it.
Yeah.
They built the replica for him.
Well, he
essentially.
handed them like a Junker card that was similar in a picture. There.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like it takes longer than, a day to build a replica car.
Yeah, it was mostly just painted over.
It was.
Quite
Not
literally.
if you're
If you
just
looked in-
cosmetically changing the outside.
And it was just
If you're
cosmetically changed.
If you're rebuilding, like, from the engine, of course it would.
Mhm.
But cosmetically changing the outside, there's a lot of things you can do to make, like, car panels and stuff that don't require actually buying parts. It would only require, like, paint, epoxy, some sort of sculpting, and, like, screws.
And
That theoretically you could do that.
and also something that was shown if you looked in the episode that you could kind of see it, but the like parts that held like the what seemed to be like the gas bomb was actually like being held together by literal duct tape. Or something like that. So this car was just meant to look like Clovis's car, like without actually being Clovis's car, because they needed it for other purposes.
Duct tape solves everything.
Exactly. It has a light side and a dark side, and it holds the world together.
Perfect.
I mean, I use duct tape to hold my charger into my phone because my phone's charging port is loose, but...
I use duct tape to hold parts of my car together.
I think electrical tape would be better for your purpose.
Yeah, you might want to look into electrical tape.
Yeah.
But anyways, aside from that, I forget. So this is just episode 4 still, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we transitioning to episode 5 now?
Yeah,
as well.
we pretty much have
So
exercised this.
Okay, once again, they pull some BS and bring another character who died in the first episode back.
but we later figured out what.
We saw her get back up.
Did we?
No,
Yes, we did.
I didn't see her.
Yeah, I didn't see Shitsu get back up after the first episode.
I didn't either.
Yeah, I didn't.
I might be forgetting.
That's
stuff,
it. That's in like a later. That's in a later episode.
Yeah.
It does happen within like the
Yeah.
episodes that we watch, but not until later.
Yeah.
But at least for this episode, we finally see she is back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she doesn't. I mean, she does give like some exposition, but like mainly her thing is that I don't even know really. She's just kind of going along with what Lelouch is doing at this point because she supports it, and as long as he does essentially what she wants in a way, she'll continue to give her his power.
Well, it said during like the Geass, him accepting it. I'm pretty sure it said that she gave him like a wish that she wanted accomplished. So until it's accomplished, she's with him until the end. Quite literally.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't really well. Like, again, I wish we had gotten hints that they were
Yeah.
alive earlier on and not just had them pop up in the next episode or a few episodes later as alive.
And then it's just sort of like a running gag that she is just squatting in the school along with them, just hiding along.
Yeah. Oh, I totally forgot. We actually got introduced to Nonly, Alucia's blind, handicapped
crippled sister.
yeah, which actually is already said by this point that is the reason why he's doing pretty much everything he's doing.
Yes,
Yeah.
because he wants to uncover the real mystery behind the murder of his mother, and he wants vengeance for what that did to his sister, essentially.
We also kind of find out that Lelouch was planning to go against Britania in some way at some point.
At some point, this essentially just, he explains, sped up his process exponentially.
Boy, Seki, get off your phone.
Yeah.
I had been looking something up.
I see the
Okay,
bubbles of a
okay.
messenger conversation.
That's not a messenger conversation.
Uh,
But yes, I had been looking something up before answering a text message.
Okay.
Okay.
I was looking up one of the things from this episode because I was curious if I missed it, and I didn't miss it.
which
it just
one?
Didn't happen. It was the thing about her getting up. I was checking to see if it was something that I might have missed.
Okay, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we.
Like,
I don't-
actually.
That might have just been a later episode then.
It's a later It does
It's a
happen in a
later
later episode. Stopping.
Anyway, we actually meet Princess Euphemia, Lucia's sister, from another mother again.
That man got on a lot.
He's rich and powerful.
I mean,
He's a king.
Can you blame the guy?
It's good to be the king.
I was gonna say that.
Well, I beat you to it because I'm awesome, but it's good to be the king, boys and girls.
I was gonna say, can you blame the guy? His other wife had died.
Yeah.
Actually,
Whether or not that was a setup is a whole nother thing. The point is the
Exactly.
guy's wife is dead.
no, I think I'm trying to remember. She was already born before the
Yeah.
death.
Ow.
That man just had a lot of wives.
Yep.
That's not surprising.
Or a lot of mistresses.
Yeah, wives. Like, I think
it-
Lelouch's was the 5th wife already.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well,
I'm Henry VIII, I am.
well,
Henry
okay.
VIII,
See-
I am.
See, Seki, some men can pull off harems, right?
Ancient Egypt.
Well, so I mean, I guess the main thing is that there could have been the thing with. Well, no, you said that was his 5th wife, so I was thinking maybe you'd had like basically in the old times where you had the wife for marriage, which was essentially like a whole political deal, is it more so like a political move to like maybe like bring together like a certain subgroup or whatever. And then you had the mistresses where they would actually have fun with and whatnot.
We also get to see
They might have been.
Suzaku be a victim of racism. Now, guys, let's just establish this. Now, racism is bad. Let's go kill the CEO of racism. Want to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah. Especially, like, you do actually see this one much more, because you also see, like, Suzaku actually fighting his technically own people to
Mhm.
protect, like, the ones that he's now a part of, technically, and then them cussing him out, and, oh my gosh, this is just a huge
Mess?
mess, yeah.
It's very messy.
And we also get to see the infighting of the purebloods because of Orange Boy's
Orangey.
action. Orangey. Oh my gosh.
If I had to pick an ironic waifu, it probably would have been Orangey.
Oh, just wondering, did you guys watch the sub or dub? Because they're actually
Sub.
both.
I watched the sub, and there's
Yeah.
actually something in a later episode that I'm just going to mention. Well, I can just mention it now.
Yeah, go for it.
First, because it's not even really that important to the series. For some reason, the subtitles at episode 10 for me were faster than the characters were speaking.
Really?
Yes.
How odd.
Yeah.
And I couldn't fix it by closing the video. It just kept going faster.
Which streaming service were you watching that on?
Hulu.
Oh,
Oh.
my.
I had no problems with
I
that.
had
I
no
was on
issues with
Netflix.
Hulu.
It was just episode 10. Episode 11 and 12 were fine after that.
I think mine were fine too.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to tell you guys, actually the dub on this is pretty good as well.
I never tried.
Yeah.
All
Anyway.
right.
Well, also we meet the another sister from another mother, Cornelia.
This is the running joke.
Yes, now it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about 6, where the cat, Arthur, steals Lucia's mask.
I hated this
Yeah.
part, honestly. This was like
It was so contrived.
This was the filler / fan service / everything
Okay,
episode.
This was the only part. This was the only part of this that we watched that had filler, and I hated every moment of it. I did not watch the rest of this. I didn't finish this particular part. I watched the first half of the episode, got through about like 5 minutes of this filler, and I'm like, no, I hate this. I'm going to the next
Here's the
episode
problem with
now.
the filler in Code Geass, and this is something that holds true throughout the series. It always is filler, and then at the end they do something important, like Suzaku joins the student council at the end of this episode.
I did
Yeah.
actually see that just because I was like, is this really all there is? And then there's like the whole thing with Suzaku, and it was like, okay, there's that.
and I'm
now-
gonna say in later episodes they like to like this gets off a little bit, but this is just a warning to like people who want to just skip the filler. They like to have their filler episodes end with an oh moment.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think this was supposed to bring tension, but it kind
was
of
mostly-
sucked
It
at
doesn't
it.
work.
It really doesn't because then Lelouch just uses his Geass on anyone who saw the cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem is if they got to get in, he's going to be
I actually
screwed.
liked this episode. I thought it was funny.
It was funny. I didn't
Yeah.
hate it like Realm Shifter did. I definitely.
I only hated the particular filler section because the problem with this series is I'd be fine with like the it being like a filler episode in the way that what is it had in the way that say Classroom of the Elite had its filler episode, even though it didn't serve really that much of a purpose. But the thing is that the tone of this series overall is very serious throughout, so it's very weird to have this very comical scene for me. And it's literally the only scene like it, I find.
For now.
For now, anyway,
Yeah.
Maybe in the later series, but I didn't watch far ahead like you guys did. At the very least, like Nick Knack here did, and watched the entire rest of the season.
I don't particularly like. I liked it, but it wasn't like I didn't enjoy this episode as much as the other episodes. But I definitely do feel like this does have like some importance to it, and they did like them needing to slow down was important. I don't know if it necessarily needed to be full filler, but like this episode really does help establish like the current modern relationship between Suzaku and Lelouch, because you kind of get to see how they're actually friends, even if they're on opposite sides, and Lelouch knows it.
Yep. Anyway, do you want to just skip to episode 7 now?
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is the time when Lelouch goes out on his own and,
He finally loses!
He actually loses.
Oh yeah, we also see a bit more of his backstory, with
Yeah.
him questioning Temper. I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
I actually do like that they made an anime protagonist lose at some point. Like, he lost. There's
yeah,
no way
he lost.
lost this one.
However, C2 saved his butt in this episode.
They weren't going to kill him. He needs to survive because he's the protagonist.
Yeah.
This isn't
Yeah.
Game of Thrones. Come on.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
yet.
So C2 comes
Too
to save...
soon. Too soon.
Uh,
I'm still not over the red wedding. Excuse you.
That happened years ago.
You too soon. Too soon.
but yeah, no, it was nice to see an anime protagonist in an action anime lose.
Yeah, and he actually uses this as his resolve.
Yeah, it like, pushes
Yeah.
him forward. He doesn't just win everything because he's perfect anime protagonist who
He
must pass every trial.
He lost, but honestly, like even though he lost, the way he gets out of it is still kind of contrived.
Yeah, Shitsu comes in.
Yeah.
Shitsu comes in with the costume, and
Well,
then
they
just-
couldn't have him lose entirely.
Yeah.
He's still protagonist Kun.
Well,
protagonist.
he almost got caught, actually. No.
I know, but he's still
Yeah.
protagonist Kun.
He's got to have all the plot armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it at least gives you some kind of vulnerability to him.
So
Yeah.
it lets you know that he's not completely invincible.
He's not
Yeah.
perfect.
He may just be a little bit too lucky for his own
Yeah.
good.
Well, also it shows that like C2 has his back now for sure.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it just won't be him by himself. It'll be C2 and him.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway, do we really need anything more from episode 7?
Not really. Not
Okay.
really. Oh wait, I suppose we should just mention it. This is also the point. Wait, or did we already see her?
Well,
The other like princess. Or
Euphemia.
yeah, Cornelia.
Yeah, yeah,
I
Cornelia,
announced it
Cornelia.
in like episode 5 because
Yeah.
that's when
Yeah.
she arrives.
Okay. Yeah.
At this point, like this is the battle.
I was
to
just
try.
making. I was just making
All
sure.
right, we guys ready to move on to what I believe is Seki's favorite episode?
Yeah,
Yeah,
episode
it was
8.
my favorite
The
episode.
Yes.
point where the Black Knights showed themselves.
I loved this episode because it's the point in the series where it stops being this black and white Japanese nationalists good, Britania bad. It starts getting to this like, oh, look at these Japanese nationalists are taking a hotel hostage and that's clearly wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It presented a more, for me, it made it not black and white, right?
Yeah.
Like you were saying. And I don't like black and white conflicts because I think that the idea of a black and white conflict is flawed in and of itself because there's always a level of everyone commits atrocities on either side of any sort of conflict
Mhm.
and you have to acknowledge that and move on, right? So I liked this, especially for the very ending at the point where they blow up the hotel,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, and he's just like, oh my god, everyone. And then, and there's a moment where he comes out with all the hostages, right? And they're all safe. And the woman, she says something along the lines of like, oh man, now we can't take him out right now.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he
Like-
looks too good in the media right now to actually.
like it's a moment of where she condoned the deaths of everyone in there and was fully ready to just murder him on top of that, outside of that, and the only thing that stopped her was media perception.
I loved like that.
Exactly.
They play off that more later in the series. This is where you start like really getting into the good, like the really good stuff of the series. I think.
Yeah, we stopped with the backstory and filler mostly.
And
Because
we
we
kind of
played
finally
that up.
move on to like the actual like
the progression of the rest.
Zero like
Yeah.
coming out and showing himself to the world. Ah,
Yeah, the last, 7 episodes really set this up to be amazing. And also, I'd like to say, Suzaku is the anime action protagonist kun style.
and he's flawed. They like
Yeah.
show his like he's an anime protagonist in style, but you actually see like where that kind of do no wrong would get someone.
Yeah.
Yep.
We also actually saw his convictions in, an earlier episode of why
Like,
he's
but,
actually
like,
doing what he's doing.
Okay, when I said that Lelouch had the protagonist aesthetic to him, I meant entirely his design,
Yeah.
not his
Yeah.
character. Suzaku, on the other hand, has a little bit of both going for him in some aspects.
I generally like series that take dumps on the protagonist Kun like archetype.
Also,
And I feel like the series tries to do that well enough.
Also, we actually saw the flaw in Lelouch because he knows that he's going to try and protect his friends, and yeah. We also see Cornelius' flaw in Yuffie as well
Mhm.
here. So, yeah.
Shall we move on to episode 9, which is kind of filler,
Yeah.
but it's also character filler. So it gets a lot bigger of a pass for me than say
I actually didn't
6.
think that this episode was even filler when I was watching it.
It kind of isn't, kind of is, in all reality.
Like ultimately none of it really has any long lasting consequences, even in these first 12 episodes. And it's really kind of disconnected from the overall plot, but it shows events that they later just kind of montage through.
Well, no, here's the thing. I know that that nobody else actually knows this, but this does actually apply, but it's so far in that. It's quite literally toward the end that this episode applies at all anymore.
Kind of
Yeah.
barely. But it's Colin's backstory, and this is kind of
Yeah.
why I give this episode a pass, even though it's kind of filler. Colin, it's filler in the way that it's filler in the context of the main plot. It's not like episode 6 where it was filler that didn't match up with the tone of the series at all.
Well, it's Colin's backstory along with what drives her to do the things that she wants to do right now, and then shows Lelouch's. Wait, does this show Lelouch's? No. I'm thinking something probably farther in. So yeah, sorry. Anyway, do you want to just go to episode 10 right now?
Yeah, let's just
Yeah.
go back to episode 10. now.
Episode 10!
This one was weird for me, so I'm not really going to say much for it because, like I said already, the subtitles in this one were weird. I could still make out the general gist of what was going on, but again, the subtitles were so far ahead. But basically, this is them preparing for a big fight arc between them and some of the other military and whatnot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is the start of the big, start of the Black Knights' first ever major offensive against Britania. So yeah, where they, actually, they use a lot of scientific and terminology that you won't find pretty much anywhere else except in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a lot of the next couple episodes was fight scene though, and this is if you were looking for action in the series, you're probably gonna like these 2 episodes a lot more than earlier episodes, which were more political intrigue, or filler.
Yeah, no, the series definitely took an upturn here for me, and I think if I'd maybe kept watching, I probably could have picked a favorite character and some other stuff, but because I'm cutting it at 12,
Yeah.
I feel like this is where the action really does begin for the series, and it starts coming into its own as with the mech. It's one massive between the two next episodes. It's one massive 40-minute mech fight basically.
Yeah, mech fight and strategical war, which you can't see. Yeah.
It's chess if you could actually see the chess pieces fighting each other.
Yeah. Which Lelouch does in his head, and if you understand chess a little bit, you'll start to do it. Mm-hmm. I do want to put this in the video. Chess is technically not chess in this anime. If you can figure out what I'm saying, good for you. Otherwise, you're going to have to wait until probably... Yeah, no, you're going to probably have to wait until we finish up the whole entire series. So I can actually explain what I mean by that. But yeah.
But yeah, I mean, do we want to separate episodes 10 and 11? Or do we want
to... Not really, because they tie together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think of note, and this will transition into... Wait.
So, we said that we were combining episode 10 11 right now.
Yeah, I think one more thing to note in episode 10 or 11, one of the things they do for to get a tactical advantage is they cause a landslide.
Yeah.
That becomes important moving into episode 12.
Yep.
Yeah.
By the way, Orenji gets messed up during that battle.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Super messed up.
We see that Orenji and his faction are now the pipsqueaks of don't even
they
come
went
close.
From the top to the very bottom very quickly.
Yep. That's what happens when you decide to go with the terrorist.
Well, it was against his own will, so. But that's anyway.
Yeah, they don't know it though.
They don't know it.
Yeah.
And so now with that whole amazing fight scene out of the way, after essentially Suzaku comes to Cornelia's rescue.
Yeah.
And then after that, there's a bit of a chase scene between Suzaku and Zero, and Suzaku would have killed Zero in that instant right there had it not been for C2 and him hesitating because he remembered C2 from that day with Lelouch. And somehow, by touching the leg of the mech, she is able to influence his own memories to see something from his past, and that was his father, his dead father.
Yeah, that gets explained, I think...
Much later on.
Well, much later, so it doesn't
it's
matter.
in the cave scene.
But it's not in this episode, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Wait, is the cave scene in episode 12 or is it episode 11?
No. I mean, there's they're in a cave after C2 takes a bit of rock shrapnel to the chest from from Suzaku flailing about in the mech, and
she's fine.
Yeah, and she's fine because she's superhuman, it seems.
Well, but she's finally revealed to the Black Knights because Colin sees her.
Yep.
Also, we get to see the dynamic between Suzaku and Euphemia in this episode. As you can see...
They're some of my favorite characters as we move past these episodes, but we're not moving past these episodes.
Also, I think, was it this episode? But that one, I forget her name, but the one girl with the frilly black hair, was she rubbing herself up against a table to Princess Euphemia?
Oh yeah, that girl has a hard-on for her.
That was weird.
Oh yeah,
I was like,
I think I blocked that part out of my mind. I'm not
We're
gonna lie.
leave that behind. We don't want to talk about that. We don't talk about that.
Nobody talk about that. We don't think about that. We don't talk about that. There's nothing for that.
Didn't happen.
Moving on.
Yeah.
I had to bring it up.
Episode 12.
Yeah. We see Toto, the miracle maker, the person who actually kind of halted Britania during one battle, which actually is said during the fall of Japan. Yeah.
Isn't this the episode where they go and they have that negotiation with was it Kyoto?
Yeah.
Yes.
And and the guy that they're doing the deal with actually knows who Zero is. Well, not before they get there, but
Zero reveals himself and he knows Lelouch.
Yeah, he knows Lelouch. And this is also sort of an episode that ties in essentially the trust between Zero and the rest of the terrorist group are now the
Mhm.
Black Knights
Yeah.
because they've never seen his face, not even once.
And this is kind of the start of where you begin to. This is like where you see the. Because I believe Toto, who was from the other Japanese terrorist group, right?
Yeah.
You see, he was involved in this thing too, right? Or was that? Was he
no,
involved
that
with
was
the-
in episode 11. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you start between all like this last arc, you kind of see the two groups slowly starting to mingle together a little bit more.
Yeah. And in episode 11, you, due to the meetup, you learn also more of the backstory of Lelouch and like what happened when he was in Japan. Because
Mhm.
the only thing that we saw from when his past was in Japan was at the start of the episode. Also, we find out that Shirley's father is dead due to Lelouch's.
Landslide. The
Mm.
landslide killed Shirley's father,
Yep.
Oh.
We now see
Oh,
another
yeah.
fault in Lelouch.
and Lelouch killed his love interest's father.
Yep.
Whoops.
Or rather, I
Ooh.
mean, we don't know really what Lelouch's feelings are for Shirley at this point because he hasn't really expressed much, like in terms of.
True.
It's
Yeah.
more so Shirley's the one who's interested. In fact, actually, in the same episode, Lelouch had even said that he was going to decline her offer.
But that was more out of utility. than
That was
anything
more out
else.
of utility.
Yeah.
He would, if he had the time, he probably would have.
And he ultimately did go.
He ultimately did,
Hmm.
and it was more so just because I think he felt bad, sort of.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
then she arrives crying in the rain,
Cried
Yep.
in the rain out.
and Lelouch made an oopsie.
Yeah,
Yep.
very big
Hmm.
oopsie.
Well, now then, let's
Let's
end.
wrap it up now.
So,
Everyone want to give their closing thoughts here?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Start with Born.
Okay, well, definitely better art style.
That's not hard.
Yeah,
It's really not.
yeah, definitely not that hard. The characters actually were very nice. We actually see some stuff that we actually haven't seen in the stuff that we have reviewed. As in, we've seen like the coalition between the anti and the protagonist.
Politics.
And also politics.
We
yeah.
see politics, which we haven't seen too much in any of the other series we've done.
Yeah. Even though I kind of expect that in Yona, but we really didn't see it that much.
Yeah, that gets on later.
Yeah.
That's for another time. All right, would you give it a rating?
Well, for me, I won't say it's the best anime of all time that I've seen, but for mech anime, I definitely say, yeah, this is the best I've seen of all mech anime, which I give a, what was my highest rating again? Like, I think it was like an 8.9 or something.
Something like that.
Something.
Yeah, I give this a 9.4.
Nice. Well, I definitely enjoyed the series, and I will be looking forward to it when it is eventually resubmitted for rewatching. I give it personally a C2 out of an eggplant.
Seki?
Knowing that it's a shonen, right, and that it is longer than 24 episodes, I don't currently particularly like any of the characters, but they started to get better with episode 8, which I said I really enjoyed, and everything after that. So I'm fully aware of the fact that I'm sure once we've seen the next 12 episodes, I will feel a lot more strongly for it. Just because I know that that's how it works for me with shonen, and just how it generally works with longer animes in general. The beginning tends to kind of be like bringing together moments, and so it doesn't really like ring with me. It's one of my issues with Kitekyo, even though I love the series, I don't like that. So, I love the opening. I don't hate what I've seen so far. I don't have strong feelings towards it. So I'll give it, 3 books out of like 5. It's not bad, it's just not great. Vorn, these are my closing thoughts. It's not something for you to rebut.
No, I want to make a correction. It's not 12 episodes, it's 13.
Because there's
Okay.
25 episodes.
That's fine.
Yeah, I just want to make that correction.
All right, I guess my closing thoughts. I liked it having watched more of the series, though, and even early on, it would not have hit, like, my favorites. Going on later, it does fall into my favorites now, but early on, though, I do feel like it was good. It was really good. It just wasn't great. So, I especially like the later episodes, like, really pick things up. Now, yeah, it just wasn't spectacular early on. I think now this is all made up for, of course, by the sexy OP. I mean, come on. So due to that OP, I give it a 10 out of 10.
All right.
All right, so we ready to roll the wheel, pull from the hat?
Oh boy.
Realm! Bring in that wheel!
Ironically, it is neither a wheel nor something that Realm has control of.
I know.
Oh,
I don't know why. Yes!
Oh.
She finally-
Just tell us!
Katekyo Hitman Reborn!
Mother!
Oh my God! We're doing this again!
Yeah!
Oh my!
Oh.
We're
My
going.
constant referencing to it worked.
Are we at least going to get done with like the arc?
We are going to get into.
We're certainly not out of filler territory.
We're definitely going to get into. Well, no, we are going to get into the ending of the filler and the start of the first major arc of the series, which is nice because finally I'll have something that you can like actually sink your teeth into.
Great. Well, let's
No.
end the recording now.
Well, hang on a second. It's going to be episode 13 through. What did we say?
This is your series. You should know.
I know. I didn't have it labeled because I put it in so early before we had that mistake where we did 12 and the cutoff should have been 13. So, we're going to go with 13 through 26.
Okay.
Okay.
So 13 episodes.
Yeah.
26. Great.
Yeah.
All right,
13
then.
through 26.
Well then, everybody. Until next time,
Try
try harder, everyone.